This podcast is part of the Pull Up a Chair podcast network. Let's build community through connection, conversation, and collaboration. This podcast is sponsored by Lever Consulting, editing with a purpose. Check them out at leverconsulting.com for a free consultation.
What does it mean to be happy? 'Cause it looks like we all don't know. Glass half full or empty. Man, we just putting on the show.
Welcome to How's That Working For You Season 2. It's your girls Kat and V, but this time we're taking deeper dives into mental health and breaking stigmas. So get ready because things are about to get real and personal. Hey V, what's going on?
Hey Kat, it's just, that time again, that special time where we do a life update episode.
I thought you were going to say that special time where I bleed out of my vagina.
No, thankfully not. But that's because I take lots and lots of pills.
Yeah, I still need to check. I still need to talk to my gyno about being able to skip the period because I haven't yet. And I think it's fantastic that people are able to do that.
Yeah, you don't have a sugar pill week, and it's amazing, and I'm never going back.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that one. I didn't skip any days, but I somehow lost the one packet that I was working on, but good thing I had a different pack, a new one. So I had 1 week of the, I can't believe I'm talking about this on the...
Well, yeah, I can't believe we started here, but sure, go off.
I don't think. But there was a week left of the actual real pills, and I just kind of took 5 weeks, 5 weeks of the real pills. So it didn't really do much. So I think that your theory is right, or the theory is right. If I just kept taking them, I just would never get the period until later. So
yeah, no, I have been on the pill for 4 or 5 years now. And I only have a period once every 3 or 4 months, and it's not nearly as bad as before I was taking the pill. But again, it's only 3 or 4 months I'll have one.
It's so nice.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful.
I'm going to have to hop on that wagon, especially because I'm traveling so much. That probably would help. The travel situation. I guess we're doing the life update, right? Maybe I should start. I'm going to take a gander and probably think that a lot of our audience is going to be female, maybe, who knows, who really knows, but either way, talking about periods should be normalized because it's a normal human, it's a human thing that the body does. Either way, if it makes people uncomfortable, I somewhat apologize, but not really.
I don't. I just tell you to grow up.
Exactly. Anyway, so the actual real life update, I have literally 2 days left in Alaska.
Oh.
No, a day and a half, I feel like. Tomorrow's going to be a really busy day for me. We're going to be after this recording, I have to pack everything because I refuse tomorrow to to freak out and not have everything packed because Jordan and I, we still had some spots that we wanted to check out before leaving here. But, life happens and with work and stuff like that. Like I mentioned before, we are not on vacation. I feel like it feels like we're on vacation because we're in a different place, but we're really not on vacation because Jordan still works his real job from remotely, and I still have school and stuff like that. So oftentimes we don't end up doing everything we want to do because we're still living life like normal people, just in a different location. But yeah, I think that it's so funny because people like to glamorize my lifestyle, which I think it's, to be fair, I love it. And it's I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to just travel during a time when people can't really. But it's not that travel influencer lifestyle everyone imagines it to be,
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, it's which, by the way, I finally started watching travel influencers lately to kind of get ideas on like how they edit and what like how they film, like when it's appropriate to whip out a camera and stuff like that. So
You can always whip it out. It's not a dick, it's a camera.
that's true. I know. I need to take notes from you because literally you take out your phone camera in like all the different stores. So
No shame.
yeah, exactly. I'm still working on that, but I'm getting closer to it. And I'm learning like when it's appropriate to actually use my like nice camera versus the phone. Oh, well, I keep saying like, well, should I contact the establishment before I take a camera in there? Right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, well, that would be a good idea. But like, what if you just use your phone? Like everybody films stuff on their phones these days. And I was like, that's true. Like if they don't have anything like explicitly mounted somewhere that says like, oh, no recording, then like what's stopping you from recording, right? Anyway, yeah, travel vlogging is not it's a very new thing to me, but I've always wanted to travel vlog. You know me.
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted to do that. And I've just not recently, but I've been building up this like mentality of if you don't start now, then you might, like, when are you going to start, right?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, it's just, that's kind of what happened with this podcast, was with you being like, well, if we don't start now, then like, when are we going to start? And like, look at us now, we're in season 2 of How's That Working For You? And then like a whole new different podcast. So I think it's safe to say that you just got to start, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I've been really killing it. Not killing it. I don't want to say killing it, but I've been really consistent with creating TikToks, Instagram content in general. And I'm really proud of myself for that. And that's something that I've definitely been working on this year because I think this year was a turning point for me because last year, the end of last year, as you guys all know, was a dark time for me. And I decided that this year wasn't going to be like that. And yeah, here I am. I think I'm doing okay. There's definitely always going to be room for improvement. I think always, forever, until the day you die, there's going to be room for improvement. But you're always going to be enough, though, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. I like that.
Oh, there's like this like weird competition going on where the prize is like to be featured in Yoga Journal magazine, which the page itself has 1 million followers, and it's a really big publication, I think.
Okay.
And there's a number of different smaller sponsors like Mantra Band, which is with a company that does bracelets and stuff like that. And then there's a different one that's like an IV brand. I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's like, I feel like it's a very rich people thing where you go into a clinic, quote clinic, that will inject you with like IV fluids of things like, I forgot what, but it's basically you go in there, you get an IV put in you, and it gives you like vitamins or something. Like the most common thing that they treat is a hangover.
I am just at a loss of words.
Yes, it's a very rich people thing. Like,
if they could see my face right now, the utter confusion.
Yeah. I don't know. The only reason why I know about it is, also, like I didn't date a dude. I went on a date with a really weird guy that like, he had a startup that he was doing, and that was like the whole concept of his startup. But like he would drive to your place and like have all the IV things with him. And I was just like,
Do you really want that guy shooting shit into your veins though?
Yeah, no. So anyway, I digress. I just like the website's a little bit like, I don't know. The website leaves a little to desire, and I couldn't figure out how to see other competitors without having to click out and like Google them. So I was just skeptical.
Yeah.
And I wrote to Yoga Journal to see if they were actually affiliated with them. I still haven't heard back from Yoga Journal, but I did hear back from the smaller companies, and they said that they are affiliated with it. But I want to hear from Yoga Journal because that's the big sponsor, you know?
Yeah. They're the face of it.
Yeah. Like I didn't see their Instagram page post anything about it. And I feel like if the prize is something as big as like, oh, one of the prizes is $10,000, there's that. And then another part of it is to be featured in Yoga Journal. And like they're saying like you'll get lots of recognition and stuff like that. And then on top of that, it's a fundraiser where you can choose to donate money to vote for these competitors, like for your favorite competitor. But like the fundraiser is for like the veteran yoga project or something like that, where it's like they give scholarships to veterans, I believe, to take yoga or do yoga trainings or something like that. And I went on their website and they didn't say anything about this competition either. And their Instagram page was like updated recently and they didn't say anything about it either. So I was just...
That sounds sketchy.
Yeah, but like so many people are doing it. So many people. Like, and I just, until I hear back from Yoga Journal, I just don't know. Like, I really want to participate in it because it would be like, if it's real, it's like a really great opportunity. But if it's not, then like what? Like, it wouldn't rub me so much the wrong way if it was like a free thing. If it was free to vote for your competitor, right? You can if you log into Facebook. But then when you log into Facebook, that's how companies or like organizations get your information too. So I don't know. I know people personally who are doing it and some of my friends are doing it. And I really would love the opportunity to get featured, but something about it just isn't rubbing me the right way. Even though the smaller sponsors have confirmed that they are part of it. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, trust your gut, girl. Trust it.
Yeah, so either way, that's kind of what's been roaming around my brain. There's a lot going on. This next few days is going to be a fucking hellscape for me.
Oh, I bet, which is why I'm glad we're working on getting ahead.
Anyway, tell me what's going on with you.
I've had a rough month. Not just like couple weeks, but I've had a rough month. Like, I started to have some suicidal thoughts, not tendencies. But like I do, I like closed in on myself and I didn't really want to talk to people. And so the only time I would talk to people is when they reached out to me with their issues, right? I had 2 moments of weakness where I opened up to certain people that I was struggling, and they both backfired on me to the point where it kind of just snapped me out of my headspace. And then I had a couple of other people say stuff to me that really not rubbed me the wrong way, but reminded me that people just aren't educated in mental illness. Because my depression is medical. It's not, I have a bad life, I hate my life, I'm sad. It's my brain chemistry is deciding that it's not going to function like a normal brain. And that's not something that switching jobs is going to fix. That's not something having money is going to fix. That's something that work is going to fix. So
who said that? Who said those things to you?
All right. Well, let's go through a couple of them. I'm not going to name any names because I don't do that. I'm not that kind of person. Okay. Well, one of the people said to me, "You're living your best life. After all, look at your Instagram page." And I'm like, what does Instagram have to do with depression? Honestly, like, I don't even think I put my best self on Instagram.
That sounds like they're like giving you a backhanded like burn, you know?
Well,
like
yeah.
like they were just well, look at your Instagram, as if there's something on your Instagram that would be detrimental to your mental health. Like,
I feel like I put the good and the ugly on Instagram. There are some really unflattering poses and conversations that I've had in the description of my page because I am just a cringy person all around. And so that was like...
I think you're less cringy than you think, but anyway, keep going.
Yeah, no, so it was just like... obviously you're not paying attention to what I'm actually saying. And then another person, I straight up said, this person knows that I am diagnosed with major depressive disorder, aka clinical depression. I said to this person, actually, I've been struggling because my depression has flared up and I'm having a really low point. This person laughed. Like an actual genuine laugh, and said, yeah, girl, I'm struggling too.
No.
And it's like, yes, this person is having some marital issues.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And then she goes on, just like, you and I are exactly the same. And then she just goes off to talking about what she was talking about earlier.
I hate that.
In the earlier conversation, and it's all like, this person has been through a couple of really hard things in her life. But she's been to a couple of therapists. She's never been diagnosed with anything. She is neurotypical. It was just like, you're laughing at me when I am telling you that my brain is in a dark place. And you're telling me that we are the same.
Okay, there's a difference between, like, empathizing with somebody and saying, like, I know how you feel. But
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, but the way she said it was like, oh, you and I are the same. No, bitch. Like, no, we're not.
Like, I have nothing bad in my life right now. I love what I do for a living. I have a great relationship. We're not having any relationship issues. I am in a home. I'm not, like, going to be kicked out on the streets. And there's nothing that's making me upset. What you were going through, person on the other end of this phone, is you were going through stuff that's making you upset. My brain is deciding that it's just not going to work properly. Those are very different things.
There's situational stress. There's, like, a difference between situational stress and depression versus actual clinical depression, like what you experience and what I experience sometimes as part of my bipolar disorder. Like, it's very different.
And instead of reaching out to people that would actually care about me and love me, like you, or my husband, or even my roommate, with somebody who, like, asks me how I'm doing, and I think that they care, and I know in my head they don't care, and I say it, and then I'm like, why am I so dumb? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And it was just kind of like, what is wrong with me? That I am like, it's like I'm looking for pain. It's the only way I can describe it. I'm doing better now, though.
I'm so glad.
I really don't know what caused the flare-up. I'm doing much better now. I haven't thought about death or personal death. Another thing that's, like, popped up since then is, so my grandmother has 14 brothers and sisters.
Really? Oh my God. Damn, her mother really got freaky.
I have a very large extended family, and we don't see each other that often. Usually
on your dad's side?
On my dad's side, yes.
Okay.
So I don't see these people often. We usually meet once a year on the anniversary of my grandmother's death at her cemetery. Just her sisters, which are 5 sisters, and a couple of their kids would be, like, the only, like, family get-togethers that I really look forward to. And so when I refer to my family as crazy, they are included in that because they're far enough removed.
They're not included in it, or they are?
I don't typically include them because they're far enough removed and I don't see them often enough that when I think of my immediate family. Anyways, so they recently did a social distance type of get-together. Most of them are completely vaccinated, and so it's fine. They're an older crowd. I'm getting vaccinated. Well, I've already started the process of vaccination. I got my first shot because I work with children. So it was safe. We were being very safe about it getting together. And, they're asking me what's going on. They haven't seen me in forever and a half. And I was like, oh, I'm fine. I got a podcast going, stuff like that. Well, they all listened to the podcast.
What did they think? Oh my gosh.
And let me just say, when I tell you that I don't expect any support from my family, I mean, I don't expect any support, period. And so when I had people actually listen who know me, it was just like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's so thoughtful. And I got, like, really nice feedback. And I had one particular aunt who's like,
oh, good.
I knew your life was hard, but I didn't realize just how hard it was. And I was thinking, what do you mean? It wasn't that bad. It could be so much worse. But then I
Oh my God.
was running in my head, okay, well, what have I said on the podcast? Oh God, what did I get myself into?
Which episodes did they listen to? If they listened to the one about you, then that one had a lot. Like, girl.
Yeah, that one had a lot. And some bits where I wasn't talking shit about my aunts, but, you know, I was talking about how they act behind closed doors. And so I was thinking about that and thinking about how that particular aunt behaved on that day. And I was like, well, if they didn't know then, they know now. Just because they know me and who I was around at that time, they would know what particular family members I was referring to.
Oh, so you didn't talk about them. You
I talked about the other.
aunt.
I talked about the
Okay,
closer
yeah.
blood
Yes.
relatives. I was all like, man, I hope this doesn't come back to bite me in the ass, but I know that it will.
Is there anything they don't know about themselves, though? Like,
But the reason, I think this is going to bite me in the ass is so when I was in high school, right, I was really into philosophy and spirituality, ooh-woo, guru, think about deep life shit. But, keep in mind, up to that point, my dad had died. My mother has been going through bipolar, and has been spiraling for years in and out of my life. My grandmother had died, who had been the only stable person in my life. I'd been passed around. So I had been through some fucking shit by the time I was in high school. And I was thinking some big picture, why in the world could the world be like this kind of stuff? Stuff that people, 15-year-olds shouldn't be thinking about. Life, death, rape, all of it.
not to interrupt you, I just wanted to add that, I think it's a very normal human thing to want to find, something stable, like a faith, to look towards when life is getting really hard.
Yeah, no, I'm working towards that. So I was, doing what, an average person would do when they're, in crisis. And so part of that is I was on Facebook and MySpace posting these quotes that I found from theologists and philosophers and talking about my interpretation of these quotes and what I thought of the big picture stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had particular family members demand that I take it down because it made them look bad, that I should never post something publicly that would shame them or show that they were anything less than perfect. And so...
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Stuff that, when I was writing this, when I was reading about it, researching, it literally had nothing to do with them. Period. At all.
So they were internalizing it, right? That makes sense.
And so when they hear me actually talking about them, I'm sure it's going to be 20 times worse. And I would be pinched, and my hair would be pulled. I'd be called that I was stupid and dumb and unlovable when they read that stuff.
Not anymore, right?
No, they don't do that anymore, but that's what they did to me when I was a
Okay,
teenager
good.
posting about theology online. So I cannot
family
imagine
suck.
how bad it's going to be when they see I'm talking about mental health online.
But you're a grown-ass woman now.
See, you would think that, but at my quote-unquote bridal shower that was thrown for me, I was telling my mother-in-law a story that she's heard 1,000 times, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How Michael and I met. And I think it's funny because when him and I met, we didn't like each other because it was 8 a.m. on a Monday morning.
I don't even think you've told me this story.
Oh, yeah, no, when Michael and I first saw each other, we looked across the room, we both thought, that person's an asshole, because both of us had a bitch face on, because it was 8 a.m. on a Monday morning, and neither of us wanted to be there.
Oh, okay.
Who wants to be in class at 8 a.m. in the morning? Nobody. So
Nobody.
we were both grouchy when we met, so we didn't particularly like each other. I think that is hilarious. Mm-hmm. I've told my mother-in-law this several times. This aunt who was sitting across from me kicked me really hard in the shins to get me to stop talking. And this was less than a year ago.
What?
So they still have that mentality of thinking that they can bully me into submission. And that's why I don't particularly involve them in my life.
Yeah.
And I still share what I share online, but I know that they don't look for it. But as soon as it's pointed out to them, and it didn't really occur to me until I had this other aunt who's uninvolved from all of it send me a text telling me that she really felt something for me. And I was thinking, oh, that's sweet. I wonder if anybody else has listened. And then I thought, oh shit. And usually the family drama is always centered around somebody else. I haven't been the center of a family drama scandal in forever.
Mm-hmm.
And this is definitely going to be one of them. And I'm just like, what did I get myself into?
How is this even a scandal? Look.
Me talking about how sad I was that my grandmother died on Facebook was a scandal.
Oh, okay, so you're talking about their version of a scandal.
Yeah, their version of a scandal.
Let me tell you right now that you haven't said anything that wasn't true about them. So if they didn't want to be talked about...
See, I feel like I play it down, if anything.
Yeah, like if they didn't want to be talked about, then they shouldn't behave the way that they do. I feel like that's just, I don't know. It took me a long time to get to where I am today, and I've done a lot of things, don't get me wrong, that are very cringy and regrettable. But I'm now here, and it's just like, I feel like it's a good philosophy to just behave in a way that people can't talk shit about you.
No, I'm at the point where I don't really care if I get talked shit about, because they're gonna do it anyways. Like, I think it was last week I was called a cold, heartless bitch.
For not giving them attention?
Yes, because I didn't answer a phone call. I didn't answer a phone call, and I was called a cold, heartless bitch. But keep in mind, I was working during that time. They were aware of my work schedule. I couldn't exactly, quit work to talk to them or pause, and I made it a point to call them on my 15-minute break. That's fine. It's fine. I'm a cold, heartless bitch.
Here's the thing about your family. I feel like they have a lot of narcissistic tendencies, and a lot of that stems from manipulation. Like, it's just this big network of manipulation that goes on in your family that I...
See, that's why whenever there's fight, I'm like, oh, maybe this will be the fight that brings it all down, and they can just realize the errors in their behavior and grow as people.
Oh, it's not gonna happen.
I can
It's
dream.
not gonna happen.
But I will continue dreaming as this episode comes to a close. Before we get any deeper in this.
I don't want to close it. I don't want to close it at that, because I don't want to seem like an asshole for calling your family narcissists. Like,
okay, how would you like to close the episode, Kat?
I guess this is pretty relevant to our last episode, right?
Yeah, honestly, this is just, of course,
honestly, if you're randomly listening to this episode and you didn't listen to the one before, highly suggest you listen to that one. Because I will be talking about how my family, in ways, behaves similarly to V's. I'm not even like you shouldn't really compare families or anything like that. But there are certain things that family members who don't understand you or where you're coming from, there are certain things that they do in order to compensate for what they don't get. Like, they try to make up. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, they...
Yeah, I feel like you explained it a bit better last week.
Anyway, I guess this brings us to an end.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so follow us on all our socials and subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Everything will be linked in the description, and we will see you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye. Interested in sponsoring the Pull Up a Chair podcast network?
Want to be heard by the audience of all 4 of our original shows?
All sponsorships through our non-for-profit are tax deductible.
More information can be found in the description of this podcast.
Okay, let's talk about Lever Consulting. They help you create so many things. A perfect personal statement, application essays, presentations. They help create writings that truly represent you. They've got writers, editors, and even researchers. Elever Consulting can make all your stuff easy to read, understandable, and enjoyable. They truly take editing to the next level. Not only do they have flexible rates, they also offer assistance with college applications and job seeking. Check them out at eleverconsulting.com and get a free consultation.